Good morning and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. Today is April 20th. Happy Easter. And it's time to winter sow the tree Moringa. Moringa is a tropical tree native to India. Here in north central Maryland, I have to sow it as an annual because it won't survive our winter, not even the roots. Every year, I start it mid-February in the warm furnace room on heat mats under lights. This year I decided I want to try winter sowing moringa in a little mini greenhouse jug out in the garden, and it'll germinate when it's ready. Let's see if it even has enough time to grow that way. I didn't start them way back in February outside because it gets cold, and if they germinated, the leaves would turn yellow and fall off. But now April is the time to try, but the growing window is really short because they're done by September or October. So let's see if this works. It's a big seed, and a lot of people struggle to germinate them. I typically will put 3 seeds in a pot, and most of the time at least one will germinate. Now, they prefer temperatures of 80 to 90 degrees to germinate. And let me check my notes. It says 14 to 21 days for germination. But last year, in the warm furnace room on heat mats, mine germinated in only 5 days. So I don't have a problem germinating moringa, but I always buy fresh new seeds from Baker Creek. It's really a lot like okra, and here in north central Maryland, both are a challenge to grow. But the benefit of moringa is I only harvest the leaves. I don't have to wait for fruit to develop. It does make a tall 6-foot tree here with wide spreading branches, and I just break off all those branches, and you can technically use all parts of the moringa. I use the leaves and the little stems to make a green powder that I dehydrate, but I don't eat the roots. I read conflicting information that the roots can be poisonous, and pregnant women should avoid eating the stems. So please do your own research before eating moringa. Here in north central Maryland, I will get flowers sometimes, but it never has time to develop seed pods. In India, in South Florida, the trees will survive the winter. But if you want to grow and save your tree in a colder climate, plant it in a pot to bring indoors. But your pot needs to be at least 30 inches deep, because they do have a long tap root. And if the pot's too small, it's going to wrap around and around the pot. So don't put them in a small container. I don't like to take care of trees inside the house in the winter, so I don't pot up my moringa. Now I'm using ProMix organic garden potting soil, but any potting soil will work. And moringa wants full sun. If you want the full growth, and it needs room, at least 2 feet apart, but really my experience, I like more like 4 feet. Now you can still grow it in partial shade. It'll just be smaller. Last year I did grow it in a shadier part of the garden. It worked, but it was much, much smaller. Since it's a big seed, you want to plant it 1 inch deep. And then cover it with soil and pat it down well. Now we're going to tape it up and make like a little greenhouse. And I'm using Gorilla Duct tape. It's really sticky. Silver tape works fine too, but painter's tape I just think isn't going to last, because this is going to be out in the garden about a month. And I've learned with the sticky tape, use 2 pieces. It's easier to get off. And there's sharp edges on these harder plastic containers. Yep, 1 little gap. And really press it down well. Don't leave any gaps in the tape for moisture to escape. And write the name on it. But don't use a Sharpie. It's going to fade. Use a garden marker. They're designed not to fade in the sun. And we're just going to leave it out in the garden. And when it hits the right temperature, it's going to germinate. All of our other spring vegetables and flowers have germinated, and some are hardening off now, and others are ready to plant. The red cabbage we're going to plant next. But yesterday we planted the kale, and 1 or 2 weeks ago we planted the onions. Both the onions and the kale were winter sown. So come back and see if our moringa germinates. Can we winter sow it? Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.